Yes, the Chicago Bears are 0-2, but no, the season is not over. They got to get in the win column against the Dallas Cowboys. Then you have another winnable game in Vegas. But first, we got to figure out how to beat the Cowboys. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that in Clay's Corner. The number 3 thing you got to do to beat the Dallas Cowboys is control the clock. Okay, obviously, your defense is hurting. Jalen Johnson is out. Kyler Gordon is out. TJ Edwards is out. You gave up a ton of yards. You gave up 8.8 yards per play. That's a record for the Detroit Lions to the Detroit Lions. An absolute record. As good offense they've been, they've never had 8.8 yards per play. Gave up 5 touchdowns to Jared Goff. Over 330 yards to Jared Goff. 5 touchdowns to Jared Goff. You got to keep this offense off the field of the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is playing at a high level. He's got 2 good, if not great receivers. CeeDee Lamb, one of the best receivers in the league. George Pickens can catch the ball. Jake Ferguson, one of the best tight ends in the league. You got to run the football. You don't want CeeDee Lamb running around all day with Dak Prescott throwing him the ball when Tyreek Stevenson pass rating when targeted, 158.3. That's perfect. If he was running routes on air, you couldn't be better than that. A perfect pass rating when targeted. So you have to control the clock, keep this offense off the field. They can't beat you if they're on the field. The Dallas Cowboys are giving up over 120 rushing yards per game. You feature DeAndre Swift. You get Kyle Monangai involved, maybe even a couple zone reads with Caleb Williams. He's shown he can move. You got to do whatever you can. Lean on this big offensive line that you paid millions of dollars to before the season started so you could run the football. Keep the ball on the ground, control the clock, time of possession, then Dak can't beat you. The number 2 thing you need to do, you need to get pressure. And you need to get pressure with 4 players. You invested a ton of money in your defense. You have the 4th highest paid defense in the NFL. You got the 8th and the 18th highest paid edge rushers in the NFL. They got to prove what they're worth. Why? Because you can't send extra blitzers against Dak Prescott. This guy has seen too much. He can identify, diagnose blitz, and he knows the weak parts. And then you're sending less defensive backs now in the backfield. That leaves one-on-ones with Tyreek Stevenson and Nahshon Wright, who are not playing at a high level. And then they got to guard 2 extremely good receivers, and TJ Edwards isn't playing. So now you got Jake Ferguson running through the middle with Noah Sewell or Tremaine Edmonds trying to guard him. You got to get pressure with 4. Montez Sweat has 5.5 sacks in his last 19 games. 19 games, and then Dayo Odeyingbo. He had a sack. The first game of the season, great. Played a good game. He's going against a backup tackle. Okay, next week he's going against Detroit. Doesn't get any pressures. Last week against the Lions, they had 4 total pressures and no sacks against Jared Goff. You know what you have to do against Jared Goff. You have to get him under pressure. You have to do the same thing against Dak Prescott. You got to keep him uncomfortable. You got to get pressure with 4 because he will eat up your blitz. Listen to this. The Bears are 29th in the NFL, allowing opposing quarterbacks to complete 75% of your passes. You can't win games by letting that happen. 75% of your passes, there is no way an opposing quarterback should be completing that high percentage of your passes. Opposing passer rating against the Bears, 32nd. That's worst in the league, and an unsightly 136.9. You need to get pressure. Your defensive backfield is down. Their 2 best players, perhaps 3 of their top 4. So now this defensive line has got to show why you pay him for. You got to get Gervon Dexter Sr.'s got to get some pressure. Grady Jarrett got to get some pressure. Hopefully that knee's feeling better. You got to get some pressure from Montez Sweat. You got to get some pressure from Dayo Odeyingbo because this team is not set up to win if they have to cover. They've given up a league-high 7 passing touchdowns. You can't let that happen this week if you want to win the football game. And how are we going to beat the Dallas Cowboys? It's going to be a high-scoring game, and you're going to have to outscore them. And how are you going to outscore them? By keeping Caleb Williams clean. Believe it or not, Caleb Williams had the highest grade in the NFL with a clean pocket. When this guy's kept clean, He can throw the football around. Why do we invest so much in our offensive line? So he can be kept clean. So let's keep Caleb Williams clean, pick up the blitzes, not allow pressure. Darnold, right in the past 2 games, giving up 11 pressures and 2 sacks. He's got to be better. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of 𝗻𝗁𝗏. Listen to this stat. Caleb Williams, highly effective when kept clean. He completed 18 of 25 passes for 199 yards with 2 big-time throws, no turnover-worthy plays, and an 83.3 adjusted completion rate. That's what when you keep this guy clean, he doesn't have to do the off-script stuff. He can be Superman when he needs to be Superman. But when you keep him clean, when he's not getting pressured, when he's not getting pressure in his face, the ball's batted off the edge, this guy can throw the ball around. Him and Rome are developing a great chemistry together. DJ's catching some balls. He's got to get some time. He's got to throw the ball to the tight end a little bit. Tight end's got to do a better job of getting open. But if you keep Caleb clean against this 𝗵𝗶𝗟 defense, which is almost as bad as the Bears defense. I got a couple stats for you about the Dallas defense. Dallas Cowboys 30th in opposing passer rating allowed at 114.2. Not as bad as the Bears, but that's 30th in the entire NFL. There's holes in this defense. You can throw the ball on this team. Dallas has given up even more yards per game than the Bears, including the 3rd most passing yards per game. Keep Caleb clean. There's going to be some holes in this defense for him to find. So if you do that, you can even find some big plays. The Cowboys have allowed a league lead 4 plays of 40 yards or more. Keep Caleb clean. He will find some holes downfield. He's going to find Rome. He's going to find DJ. He'll find Colston, and he will get this ball moving. And I think they can outscore a bad defense of the Dallas Cowboys and win this football game, have an opportunity to go into Vegas, go 2-2 into the bye week. Bear down.